have like my plate, my dirty plate.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to our YouTube channel here, Reseller Mom and Online Selling with Tina. And today we're going to dive in to ChatGPT again because we're addicted to it and talk about using ChatGPT to build your eBay listings, to help define what a product is when you're unsure, and asking for really great and killer titles and product descriptions. So I preloaded this morning ChatGPT with 3 different items so we could work on going over how I use it, and maybe these can be helpful tips for you to use it in your eBay business as well. These same principles can apply for Poshmark and other platforms that you sell on as well. Good morning, Nate. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Morning, Nate. Morning. Is Elric's his wife?
Yeah, that's both them.
That's fine.
So I am going to share my screen and talk about the things I have preloaded here into ChatGPT. And I did that just to save us time, so everybody's not watching me type in questions and wait for the answers. We can type in some after we go over the prompts that I did and what we got. So I'm going to share my screen here. In just a moment. Okay. So now we're jumping over here into ChatGPT. And I don't know if you have ever come across an item that you might have known this was a Star Wars toy. Maybe you didn't, but you could clearly tell it looked vintage. It does say what the name of it is on this portion of the packaging, but I cropped out the rest of it so AI could not identify what line it was from, what year it was from. I was testing its skills. So I asked it, I need help creating eBay listings and identifying some products that I am listing. Let's first start with this vintage toy I found. Can you tell me what this toy is and what year it was produced? Now, I already have the answer, but most of the times when I'm asking ChatGPT, I don't have the answer. I'm truly uploading images for help. I just wanted proof to share with you guys how accurate it is. ChatGPT comes back with, the toy in your image is a Mego, and I don't know how to say it, Andorian.
I think it's Andorian, yeah.
Star Trek line. This particular figure was manufactured by Mego Corporation. It gives us the character, what line it was from, the year of production. So if this was something we didn't know, this is huge information. This is so helpful. We get who it's manufactured by, who the character is, what line it's from, the year it came out. That is incredible. Then it moves on to give me a really great title. It lets me know that it's rare. It's an 8-inch figure. It also knows how big it is. And then it goes on to describe it. This is a very, very great description. It goes on to say, let me know if you'd like help with pricing based on recent comps or want a listing template for other platforms like Etsy or whatnot. Great. Like, this is great. When we plugged this picture in, it took no time at all. Now jumping over here, this is the full package. Down here in the fine print, because I did blow up on it, it gives the year, which is why I cropped it out so AI could tell us what it was. And it is from 1975. If we come back here, it says 1975. It did identify it. It is the right character. Everything is correct. And this was the website in where I cropped that photo out from, testing for accuracy. So did you have any comments on this one before I move on?
I did not.
Okay.
I think that's really cool. And
it's very cool. And I've used AI so many times for things just like this. I have found pieces of vintage jewelry that I can't quite tell what year it might have been from, what style it was called. Just
it helps you find other comparable listings, but also build that listing with all of the things that people are going to need to know. Because like I wouldn't know it was made in 75. Like
Exactly.
And
And,
it's just
and
got
there's
everything.
great copy and paste, boop, copy and paste, copy and paste. It's like you can really move through your listing so much quicker.
The
So
other
then,
thing you can do, Tina, is show a VA how to do this so that you could
100%.
outsource that type of stuff.
I didn't give it a thumbs up. I like to tell it I liked its response. Okay. The next item, and this is something I've been really focusing on with my eBay business, is trying to find clothing items that are not brand name driven, but more style based driven. There is a whole generation of an age group of people that do not care if an item is a brand name, like Louis Vuitton, for instance, right? Or any particular brand name that you might be looking for. They want something that has a look that they're going for, or a style that they like. So if you are outsourcing in the bins or at thrift stores or at yard sales, a lot of times you don't have to go looking up these obscure brands because they might not exactly exist on eBay, but your gut tells you this is a really cute top. I feel like it's keyword driven with mushrooms. It's cute. I really just think somebody might like this, but you tend to pass on these things because you can't really look up a comp for it, right? So there are a big group of people selling style-based clothes where the brand names don't matter. So I told ChatGPT, now I need help with listing titles heavily focused on style aesthetics. Please structure the title with the most important keywords at the beginning of the sentence. This mushroom top is a woman size large, because of course I don't have a picture of the size tag on this. And we could hope that it was assumed this was for a woman, but I at least wanted to give it that bit of information. So ChatGPT lets me know top optimized eBay titles. It gives me 5 choices. So these are really heavily used on eBay. Things like cottage core, nature core, fairy core. We have forest core mixed in with cottage core again, botanical vibes, whimsical. These are all the words that are, and here's one down here, witchy, fairy forest top. Style aesthetics is really huge and really trending on eBay. And I have had success selling clothes where I restructured my titles to add style aesthetics into them. I want to say I started doing this 2 or 3 months ago, and it has really made a big difference in the success of my listings. And it has helped me buy things at the store or at the bins that I just think are cute. I feel like, you know what, this is kind of looks like trending tops. This looks like stuff, girls might buy, women might buy, whatever it is. I'm just going off my gut, and I don't have really the ability to look something like this up. And
I've got can I make some comments?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes,
I'm trying to hold on all my questions till the end here, or comments, questions, whatever. So I would honestly take some of those titles and maybe mash them together and do, maybe whimsical, cottagecore, mushroom, graphic tee, women's size large, and then add the other parts to it: aesthetic, nature core, witchy, and kind of put restructure a title that's a little bit longer. I'm not sure on eBay how many characters you get. I know that they upped the Amazon characters from 150 to 250, including commas and spaces, etc. on Amazon. But if you were to do this same type of thing, you could mash that up to optimize with all its suggestions.
And then put them down in your product description, right? If ChatGPT hadn't used it.
This would be really good if you are trying to sell your own brand of clothing or what are we talking? We've been talking about Whatnot a lot. If you want to do your Whatnot shows based off of themed type clothing, style type clothing, because these whimsical things, if you're buying one whimsical shirt, you probably are into that and may want to buy a couple other sets.
Absolutely. You can niche down a whole Whatnot show. I love that. That's a great idea.
Melinda says, so this sounds like it may work for those items home decor that are unbranded at Ollie's or Pop Shop. Absolutely. This would be awesome for anything that you're listing on any of the platforms that are not that. And I'm thinking like golf shirts. I don't know all the keywords for golf shirts or
especially things you're unfamiliar with, right?
Yeah.
Like you just don't know. I found this vintage necklace in the bins, and it was I knew it was vintage, so I grabbed it and I bought it. I can't remember what the name of the stone was because it looked like rocks, like this kind of like an emerald green type of a stone. And I wish I could remember what it is now because that was a couple months ago. But I asked ChatGPT to identify this stone, and it apparently it's a popular thing in Hawaii, according to ChatGPT. And I listed it as such on Etsy because I just didn't know. So absolutely, stuff you find at Ollie's, kitchen towels, I don't care what it is, absolutely anything. You could come in here and do this. And so if we're talking about, say, the thing that you would find at Ollie's that was a decor item, you could ask what style aesthetics in decor that it would fall under, right? Like cottagecore is definitely a word that's used even in housing styles, farmhouse decor. There's so many different aesthetics for house aesthetics. So that's a great idea. I did the same for another top. I know that baby doll tops are very popular on eBay. And this is like a Y2K era type of top. However,
but it's come back in style. My daughter goes looking for baby doll tops and she's like, Mom, do you know this is a baby doll top? Yeah.
Yes. You're like, yes, I wore them when I was pregnant with you. But sometimes it's hard to know how to describe this. Like how like sometimes I just can't find the words. Like, what's this fabric called over it? What do you call when it's high up here? And the fabrics are different, and and it's black, right? I can't say that it has a pink flamingo on it. Like, how do you make a black top stand out in a sea of black tops, right? So I needed some creativity help on that. So I asked it to, can you do the same for this black top? It will be hard to sell and describe due to it being just a plain black top. What era is it from? What style is it? Etc. will be helpful. So ChatGPT says you're right. That black garments can be harder to describe, but this piece has some great stylist details that help set it apart. Here's a breakdown and how to position it for your eBay listing. Era, likely early mid 2000s Y2K, and it's correct because it is a Y2K top. Based on the empire waist. Now, maybe you're a guy and you're like, I didn't know that's called an empire waist, then that really would have helped you out as to what to call this high little piece up here. Sequin bodice and chiffon overlay. Oh, that's what that's called, right? Sometimes I draw a blank on what something's called. I feel like I know it. What's this called? And so the AI is very helpful in that. So here are the style aesthetics, the material details, the fit, use case. These are great keywords to put down in your description or in the back end of eBay. So in the back end of eBay, where we have the product details, you want to fill in as much of those as you possibly can. And this is really great to add into that area of your eBay listing. Then it gave me 5 different titles to choose from again. And I love that. I love having choices. And like you mentioned earlier, Lucy, I can maybe mix and match these titles to what I like.
And so, everybody that's listening to us, you guys probably could come up with all this information on your own. Most of our viewers are pretty darn smart and they've been selling for a while and they're really great. Where I struggle with myself is just having the brain power to do this, because you could do it for 1 or 2, but if you're doing 20 listings a day, your head gets tired of trying to think, whoa, girly.
Sorry.
Girl.
I meant to hit that button first.
Hold on, you totally disrupted my thought process. But your head gets tired after making listings, whichever platform it is. And sometimes it's just nice to plug things in and copy and paste, because then you can listen to music or maybe a podcast or something, and you're not constantly using your brain. But where it's also great is maybe English is not your first language, or you have a VA and you need to standardize your process for making these listings. And the standardized process could be, here are my AI prompts, here is my login to ChatGPT, here are my pictures for the day, and the VA knows, okay, step 1, put in this picture, put in this question, and here's the thing, and then I'm going to build the listing after, from that. and it will be more grammatically correct, and they will have those other keywords that are super important for your listing, and you're not paying somebody to do that research. Because if I handed my VA the steps and the pictures and said, this is, step one, put the picture in, add this question, and then copy and paste it over to an eBay question, that's better than step one, research what this is and try to figure it out. Because they're not going to be able to research that and figure out what Y2K is and millennial and stuff. That's like an American thing. Most VAs are not in America. Some are. It just gives them that process to really streamline, and then you can optimize how much money you're paying for your VA, because
Yeah,
they can be
absolutely.
expensive if they're spending 2 hours on an eBay listing.
Now let's look at that eBay listing of this baby doll top that was somebody's listing. So they did a great job on their title: woman's dress, large baby doll, Y2K 90s, fairy, whimsy goth, party goth, prom. I forgot what the HOCO stands for. And dance. So they did a great job doing that very same thing on their listing. But look at down here in the item specifics, where I'm saying you should add the extra stuff. They also did that there. They have sequin, chiffon.
Homecoming.
And AI picked that up. Down here, they have party, cocktail. They have all of the seasons. They have features: empire waist, lined, theme, gothic, grunge, Halloween. They also did a great job in their item specifics, which an eBay rep, when I was at an eBay party, told me the item specifics is actually more important than your description on eBay. Yes. Now, in their description, it's very, the women's dress, kind of the same title, pre-owned, good condition. There's really nothing else in here. Now, maybe they could have taken advantage of that great description that ChatGPT gave us. But I would say overall, this seller did a fantastic job on their listing, and they are showing exactly what I said is very trending on eBay. So what if you're out and about and you are in the thrift store or at the yard sale, and you want to kind of do that before you bought the item? You're not really trying to find comps on eBay, but you want to identify something. So here I am at this antique shop. I'm at this yard sale. What is this? Sometimes we can use Google Lens. You can use eBay's Lens, but you can also use AI. If you have ChatGPT, comes on your phone as an app. How you add something is the little plus sign. So it works on the same on the computer as it does on the app version. When you click this plus sign, you can take a photo and it will open up your camera. And you can just take a photo of the item and it will just populate it in this box. Or if you had already had the photo on your phone, you could just do add photos and then select from the photo off of your phone to upload here into ChatGPT. And you can be asking right on the spot, hey, help identify, what is this? What's going on here? Where does this come from? What's it worth? Anything you want to ask. You do get a little bit more detailed answer than you do just with a Google Lens search or, say, an eBay image search.
Well, that is all really cool, because sometimes you're at one of those sales and you see something that's just weird and you're like, I haven't seen, and we as sellers, we see a lot of things out there. And so when we come across something that stumps us, we're like, we have to know what
is this. I have to know what this is. Yeah, it's curious to me. Yeah. So and then sometimes your gut just tells you, like, this is so unique, but it looks really well made. Mm-hmm. This has to be something. Yeah. And so then sometimes you stop everything. You're trying to find it in your phone and you do the Google Lens. Nothing comes up because maybe it's super rare. So there's just not really much on the internet about it. And I have come across things like that, as I'm sure a lot of you have too. And your gut tells you I should put this in my cart. I should, buy this thing. But you're like, what if it turns out to be nothing? And and we tend to do this whole like thought process and self-doubt. We all do it, And if you don't, well then lucky you. But I think most of us do. And a lot of times I then put it back on the shelf and I walked away, but I've come home and I thought, oh, I wonder if I should have got that thing. And if you've gone to look it up and you found out, oh, it was something, you're either racing back to get it or you're beating yourself up. Like, I knew I should have listened to myself. I should have grabbed that. Well, now we don't really have to question it. We can be on the spot, use AI right there on the spot, and you can never leave the store without a doubt now.
We have Elizabeth says, so I uploaded a picture of a print-on-demand item I just made, and it gave me an SEO title, keywords, and descriptions. Just made your life easier. That is awesome. And then I did want to share, last week I had asked Tina to help with a infographic was the term to use for
yes,
infographic and lifestyle image for one of the listings that I was doing. And I did one, and it wasn't however you prompted it was better because it came out with a better picture. Mine was a little weird with the people playing the cards. They were not playing it quite correctly, so it looked weird. Kind of like if you were playing poker and everybody could see your poker hand. It was
right. Like you were showing your opponents your cards. Yeah.
Right.
So I love using AI for some infographics because while I love making them on Canva and have for a long time, look, AI is faster, and I made you 2 images. I made you an infographic and a lifestyle image.
Yes.
And I uploaded your image of your item, and it was a game. So I uploaded this board game of the box to AI, and I, simply asked it to please make a infographic image explaining these details. And it was the details I asked you about the game. I said, what features do you want it to maybe I don't recall what it is, but let's just pretend it promoted.
I can bring it up just a minute.
Children and it took altogether for the 2 images for you maybe 5 minutes. If I had done that manually, it would have taken me probably 30 minutes to do both of those.
I have the product if I can share. I'm sure this guy is not
If you're allowed to, please do.
I don't offer, like, when we do Fiverr gigs, we don't offer to like promote them or anything like that, because that's not what our channels and stuffs are about. But I'm sure he wouldn't mind if I shared pictures for this. I got too many pop-ups. Okay, so this guy's game is called Mustard Pizza. Why is this not load? I tell you, my computer is being just bizarro this week. All right, this is the lifestyle image that I came up with, which I thought was really cool. And this is the info one. So this one was really nice. It's got the size, it's got the aim. So these 2 were AI generated. This is what the client gave me. The first one, he gave me this one, which almost looks like it was ChatGPT. And then he's got the card layout in the back of the box here.
Yeah.
So it was nice to be able to throw in, because my job was not to do boxes. It was to do all of the SEO. Which he did not copy and paste over. So I'll have to talk with him, because Amazon's been really weird with that client in particular. It went into a fix listing error problem. And when I tried to log in and look at it, because he's like, I don't know why it's not updated now. It said fix listing and that he needed approval for toys, and he had already gotten approval for toys. So he said he had to like go in and recopy and paste everything over. But what's weird is he didn't copy and paste over my bullets. Like, my bullets were better than that. So those are the original bullets. So now got one more thing to do on my list today, which is irritating.
Or just an update on Amazon's end. Sometimes you update your bullet points,
True.
But Amazon is not updating it. So
right. So
Yeah, but I thought those were really great images that ChatGPT did for me in less than 5 minutes. So a lot of times when you're using Canva versus AI to say structure that image, is the box and maybe you then take the table and you're searching for an image of a table, and then you're searching for an image of a coffee cup or a plant, and then you're having to drag and drop and background remove and then hope it looks natural sitting on the table, right? Where AI just made everything look like it was just there and placed that way, a lot easier. And so I loved that. And see, this is called a lifestyle image. Now,
so this is the problem though. They've got like this little girl's cards are one way, and I'm like,
but you know what? As an Amazon shopper, I don't think that would stop me from buying it. And I probably would just think that the brand was showing, you know, how colorful and characters are on the cards. That I don't think that's a big deal at all. But I get what you're saying. It's like showing your
send it to them. Yeah. And I was thinking about going back and forth with ChatGPT and be like, okay, make all the cards go one way or whatnot. And I didn't learn like how they're supposed to play the game, so I don't know if you're supposed to match or if it's like Uno or what. So I might send that to him when I message him here in a minute. Tell him.
And so I suppose you could possibly do that even on your eBay listings. You know, have lifestyle images if it applied, right? If it applied to the eBay thing, and that could really make your listing stand out when shoppers are scrolling through the images.
Oh yeah, with Melinda, what she was saying with the home decor. Let's say you have like those signs that say things, live, laugh, love, all of those things. If you had something that was like that, show this on a living room wall, or you know, in the restroom, or show these towels hanging up on a rack. There's lots of good uses for that.
And I will say eBay has an AI feature built in to the phone app. I can't use it on desktop, but you can if you're making a listing on your phone. My husband uses it all the time when he makes listings, and eBay will generate this AI background. And I've got to tell you, he has sold more items after he started doing these AI generated backgrounds. Now, traditionally, Amazon and eBay, as well as Walmart, the sites, they like that pure white background. And when you're using this AI generated background for your main image on eBay, it obviously is not a pure white background. So for instance, we recently sold this brand new beach ball, but the AI background on it shows it sitting in the sand with like this portrait type of background. You know how it's kind of foggy. You could tell that the water's in the background. It's at the beach, and this ball is just beautiful sitting in the sand. Now, obviously, we didn't take this ball and go to the beach and stick it in the sand and take our main image like that, right? AI generated that, and it looked gorgeous. He has actually had customers message him on eBay saying, like, I've got to give it to you. Your images are great. You know? And it's really the eBay built-in AI feature. He will sell like a toy car, and it will make it look like it's, you know, outdoor in the grass. And these we're using as our main images on eBay, and these listings are selling. So I do not believe that you truly have to have a pure white background on eBay to have a successful listing and sale of your item.
Yep, absolutely. So I really, I have kind of on the fence between buying the ChatGPT subscription like you have, and or just keeping my Keepa in, you know, keeping my Keepa as well, or not Keepa, sorry, Canva as well.
I know, I was like, Keepa. Keepa, Canva, it's all the same.
Keepa I still love. Keepa is great because, yeah, that Keepa is still a solid program to have. But we often go through these, you know, what softwares are we going to be using this year or not using this year? And June is typically the time when we are thinking about when, you know, what we're going to roll with for the next 6 months. And I don't know, it's becoming a new favorite. So we'll see. I might bite the bullet and buy the subscription. The free one allows you to get a 1 or 2 pictures a day. So
and the free one allows you to ask all of those questions that you want to ask. Oh, yeah. I mean, it will help you make that eBay listing. You do not need the paid version to do that.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, it's the best free help you can get.
Well, and it's, like I said, I run into clients all the time that are like, oh, I bought Helium and Jungle Scout and this and that and an SEO service. And I'm going, you could just do all that in ChatGPT
We
and
could all
like,
go broke with all the softwares that are out there, honestly.
yeah.
And especially when you sell on multiple platforms, right? We've got Walmart tools, you've got Amazon tools, you've got eBay tools, you've got, if you're doing social media or influencer stuff, you've got CapCut, and, you've got all of these various different tools, and they can all really add up. And the truth of the matter is we all can't afford all of the tools. And you have to really pick the most important tools for your business, or you could go broke paying for tools. Individually, most of the tools are affordable, but that really stacks up. And if you add up all of your tools and what you're paying for all of them, sometimes you have to have a come to Jesus meeting with yourself. So yes, using ChatGPT, the free version, can replace some of the tools.
SEO search is really good. And what I find, here's the common theme when I run into people that are like, oh yeah, I used Helium and Jungle Scout to get my SEO and my keywords and stuff. Okay, let's say they are selling, we'll take the beach ball that you just mentioned, and they will search everything on beach balls. They will, get all the SEO that is surrounded with beach balls. And what they miss out on is things like birthday gift, or there's a new thing where you're doing the archways with the balloons.
Oh, yeah.
Parties, party favors, travel, camping, outdoor activities. They miss all the things that are, they'll get all the words that are like beach ball, all the synonyms there, but they miss some of the occasions and or gift for nephew, gift for niece type of SEO. And that's where ChatGPT is great, because you can say, what are the top 10 activities that you'd bring a beach ball for? What are the top 10 people you would buy a beach ball for? What are, top 10 or top 20, however you want to go. And you really get just a good chunk of words that are out there.
Depending on how a person is sourcing for, summer beach toy for our birthday gift for boy, whatever it is. Yeah.
Exactly. And thinking outside the box there. A lot of my small activity items, even, per se, this card game possibly is good for if you are in, when COVID was around, I used a lot of COVID type of SEO, things that are good for laying around in bed, or for being housebound, or recovering from getting sick, those types of words as well. So you got to really think the usage outside of those, because I tell you, when I get a hold of a listing that all they did was have Helium or Jungle Scout SEO and titles, I'm like, you're missing so many chunks of areas that could be applicable to your product that you want to have in there to get that traffic. And we get them beefed up, and it's so much better after the fact. Did you have any more examples in there for us?
Not. I'm actually going to ask ChatGPT to do an infographic of this black top. So I'm typing in some stuff right now.
In the meantime, I got to show off my son because he's graduating next month. But we had him go and get a suit, and I said, just kind of do a picture behind something plain that I can then take out. And then I was able to make him a couple of photos just with Canva, with the background image. I use it for all sorts of personal items too. So this is the one that we actually use for his graduation announcement. But these things come in handy as well for personal use. I love using these products. I use ChatGPT for personal things as well. How I think I ran, because we're going to do a little like insert to the graduation announcement on the, he walks on this date, and we're having a home, what do you call it? Open house on this date, and we're having a party on this date. They do grow up so fast. I'm so excited for them. But between ChatGPT and Canva, it was easy to kind of mock up all of the informations that I need. And we've used it in the past for party invites as well. And combining backgrounds with those cool invites to be, I don't want to say Pinterest perfect, but it gives the illusion that I know what I'm doing. All right, girl, what do you got for us?
I am just waiting for the images to produce right now. So
Oh,
this is, it just popped up. So I gave it, this is my instructions. Can you make an infographic image of the black top? Measures length flat. Of course, I just made this up. Across the top, 13 inches, length is 25 inches. Please crop out the hanger. Because if you recall, it was on this hanger.
nice.
And here it is. So it put M and CM. So it didn't follow quite my directions because it put this. So I would now have to correct it, which is common with ChatGPT, and say, please use inches and not centimeters. But it made a pure white background and everything with the arrows. So if you maybe don't want to have to use a ruler or a tape measure in your images and take a photo of your top with the tape measure next to it, this could be a great alternative.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, I love the info ones. The info ones would take not so long on Canva. I mean, we're talking a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
But again, it's one of those that if you can train somebody to do this or do it for your own listings, you can really process those listings.
Absolutely. Like if you
and make
uploaded
them
your
look
image
like
and while it's making it, you're back on your eBay listing, filling in all the infographics, right?
Mhm.
By the time you come back to ChatGPT, because that did not take me long at all. I was typing when you were just talking about your son and
Just a moment. I got to get my dog. Sorry.
but while you're typing in your infographic,
Come here. Hey, come here.
you can then come back, your photos will be done, download it to your computer, and then just upload it to your eBay listing.
Come here.
You could probably, although I've not done that before, you could probably say, and also make another image showing, XYZ, whatever it is that you might want it to do for your eBay image. And it has been so helpful. I'm able to do double the amount of listings in a day now that I feel really confident and strong about how they are without spending so much research time looking up other items just like it that have sold. What was going on? It sounded like a dog fight.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So I told you earlier the neighbors left the dog out. They are on vacation. They have a dog sitter, she says, that comes twice a day. Well, I don't know if the dog is outside, but he barks. He's been barking for a week from 6:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. And it's driving my dogs crazy, and it's driving the neighbor on the other side. We went and talked to them. It's driving them crazy. So I'm trying to have some grace because I understand how difficult it is to go on vacation with pets and not be able to board your animal or, not wanting to spend a fortune boarding your animal. But the fence is on its last leg, and I don't know what else to do. So I messaged her, and she had messaged me back when the show started that she was like, yes, we're on vacation. The dog sitter is coming twice a day.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's stressing her out too now, knowing that her dog is freaking out all day.
Well, animal controls come twice. I'm telling you, it's been from 6:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. The dog just continuously howls and barks.
Yeah, they need to have a house sitter that's actually there with the dog.
I don't know.
Or dog.
Something, because the dog's not happy. We're not happy. Everybody's not happy. I hope their vacation's worth it.
But yes, I hope you guys found this helpful. If it was thought-provoking at all of ways that you can use ChatGPT to help you in your eBay business, your eBay listings, or any platform that you are selling on that is not Amazon, because these type of listings and images and titles are very different than Amazon listing images and titles.
Very true. I did want to say the other thing that I sometimes throw in there for a search is the top trending words. Give me the top trending words for women's fashion or.
That's a really good idea. Whatever. That's a really good idea. I love it. And if you guys have ways that you are using it in your reselling business, drop a comment down in the comments, whether you're watching this now or watching it on the replay, because I love how other people are using it. Because I can get useful ideas for my own self. There's so many ways to use it. And I love to hear what others are doing. And I like to know if the tips we're sharing with you are useful as well.
Thank you, Tina.
That's all I got today.
That's all you got. That's okay. I was going to say I used it a lot when describing Bath and Body Works scents too.
Like what would this smell like? Like how would you describe? That's a really great idea. Like how would you describe the scent of, jasmine and vanilla? Like how would you put that into words, right? Because we can't smell a listing. There's no scratch and sniff option.
Mm-hmm. And it's also good to give the prompts of the tone that you want. That's a really good one. The game that I was doing, I think I said either a fun or exciting or something, prompt. You can also tell it that you are with the intent of selling, because that gives it kind of more of a tone to push the product, versus when I was writing my invitation for graduation parties. You want it to be fun, but you're not like selling the idea of come to my party. It's a little bit different of a tone.
I asked it to describe the scent of lavender and vanilla is a beautifully balanced combination of lavender, fresh, floral, slightly herbal with calming and clean aroma. It brings light, airy, and slightly earthy tone. And here's the vanilla. Together, it creates a scent that is soothing, cozy, and elegant. So that's really nice. That's a great idea.
Really good. How fun. All right. Well, and we did 10 a.m. this morning because you have game night tonight, right?
No, today. No, it's always something. Today, my aunt is flying in town, and we will be picking her up from the airport this afternoon.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, and 10 a.m. works good for me on Sundays usually, so maybe we will do 10 a.m.s more often.
Right. And how do you guys like that too? Comment also if you like the earlier time on a weekend, if you like our later in the afternoon time. I wanted to ask a question also of you guys watching. It came and it went. It's my old lady brain. It's like, oh, I have that thought. I said something and then my thought left.
Okay, well, if you think of it.
I don't think I'm going to. I think it's gone. Look,
it's gone forever.
Some of you ladies relate to me. I know you do. Oh, I do remember. I want to know if any of you are selling on Whatnot. I have a few friends that sell on Whatnot. They're doing well, and they absolutely love Whatnot. And I don't know how we could all help each other with Whatnot or create a community with Whatnot. For the things you sell, I know people will purchase from Whatnot sellers to resell, because you can get good deals on Whatnot. They'll buy them to resell them on their eBay businesses. But I've met and spoke with some friends that are very successful there. And I have not done a Whatnot show. I have the setup to do it, and I keep chickening out. So I'm curious if there are any Whatnot sellers out there. So also drop that below too, because I was thinking of doing a Whatnot show behind the scenes of me attempting to do my first Whatnot, to show you all of my panic that is involved, and then see how that goes.
All right. Well, I will let you know too, because I'm probably going to be doing some over the summer with just inventory, leftover stock from Amazon stock that, you get these onesie twosie things that, like, I don't really want to do a garage sale, but I would do a Whatnot show. I don't know. I'll have to see if it's worth it. All right. Well, everybody have a wonderful day. Enjoy your aunt and have a great week, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.